Hi again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of RV Business Capital Talk, sponsored by Excel. I'm Rick Kessler. With me, as always, Sherman Goldenberg. And joining the two of us today are a couple of guys from Freightliner Custom Chassis Corp, and that would be Akbar Ghous. And Akbar is the brand new Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And with him, Tony Sippel. Tony is now Head of Customer Excellence. And we're going to hear from Tony here real quick about what that means. But first of all, guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Rick, and thank you, Sherman. Looking forward to it.
Very good. Akbar, we'll get to you in just a minute because we want to make sure that the industry gets a chance to meet you. But Tony, a familiar face to all of us, and you now have a new role over there at FCCC. Can you tell us about what customer excellence means?
Once I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I had a new opportunity. Jeff Sather, our president, and I collaborated late last year with all the changes that are going on in our industry, or at least with FCCC and the business that we are enjoying. But one of the things I've been saying in my 25-year history here in sales and marketing at FCCC is that sales knows how to go out and get the order, the RV order, get the customer, get the OEM on board and things of that nature. But if we ever get a customer that buys a repeat or their second or third or fourth coach on a Freightliner chassis, it's because of what the customer service, customer support team has done over the years. There are so many moving parts in the aftermarket that from whether it's, having trained service center technicians at the Freightliner dealer network, to having parts on the shelves at the dealer network, to having parts in our PDCs, and things of that nature. So as we continue to grow our business and our market share in the RV space, we need to be able to proactively take the steps necessary so that that customer understands the value that we bring to their equation. So not that we haven't been doing or striving to do a perfect job on that, but I don't know that I would say we've done an excellent job at that. And so as I try to bring a customer experience component into the customer support arena, that's felt like a lot of a local or recent buzzword, if you will. But when I asked my team, how do you feel about customer excellence? They all felt that they could get behind that term because it was very discreet, very specific. Even when the customer calls into our call center, that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, before the agent picks up the call, we say this a little bit in jest, but smile, because the customer will hear you smiling through the phone. Yeah. And be pleasant and things of that nature. So it's how do we engage with our customers, and when they end up with the conversation, did we meet their expectations? Did they have a pleasant experience? Not all experiences are going to be pleasant, but as long as they're fair and professional, then I would call that excellence. So that's what I mean by customer. That's what we mean by customer excellence. We're all on a journey, but you have to start with the end in mind. And if we know what excellence looks like, then it should be a pretty short journey.
It sounds like, you mentioned it's still in progress, what the scope's going to be, but it sounds like you're looking to as many aftermarket touch points as you can get.
Well, yeah, there are some changes that we've implemented in organizationally over the years, that we've moved some customer facing roles into our quality assurance department. The short and sweet answer is I want to, with Jeff's blessing, I want to undo some of those decisions, and simply put, our vice president of operations is responsible for building a quality product and shipping it across the street, or factory releasing it, as we say. And once that chassis gets loaded on a truck and is transported away from Gaffney, South Carolina to our customers, that's when my team will take responsibility. So we have a very simple segregation of duties, as I'm aspiring, at least not on the sales side, but on the customer interface side, the end customer, the user, that my team will be the ones that manage that relationship.
Very good.
But if we look at the 30,000 foot view of a Freightliner custom chassis right now, where are the focuses? What are the priorities for your company?
Well, thanks, Sherm. From a product perspective, let me tell you a little bit as to what has caused me to rethink my career or where I'm headed. Freightliner Custom Chassis has been very fortunate and has enjoyed a pretty significant market share in the Class A diesel market space. We can talk about how there is the fastest growing segment of our RV space is actually in the Super C products in our S2 RV product, but I'll let Akbar talk about that or when we get later in the interview. But what's really been happening is, and this is all public knowledge, is late last year, Freightliner Custom Chassis and Tiffin Motorhomes negotiated a deal where Freightliner we will become their exclusive chassis manufacturer for all of their Class A diesel motorhome chassis. So this is common knowledge. Earlier this year in January, Integra Coach has announced plans and will be going into production with various models of coaches here very soon by the summertime. And then, pardon me, most recently, Newmar Corporation has also decided to expand our product offering or our chassis product offering to different price points where we haven't been for several years. So because of all of that, we really do need to, I see this as an opportunity to really elevate our game. And so that we can be, if you want to call it, one-stop shop from whatever price point we're at today to north of $1 million or where we're at. So we know how to take care of the customers, but as the industry has rewarded us with doing things right the first time, so to speak, we can't take that for granted. We can't rest on our laurels. We have to continuously get better.
Akbar, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Now, you're new to this position, but not to the parent company as a whole. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, please?
Yeah, I would love to. And before I share about my background, I just want to say on a personal note, I'm very honored, humbled, and looking forward and excited to be at this role and to be part of this fascinating industry, right? Like how many people get the opportunity to, deliver memories and be part of this lifestyle. Also, I'd like to thank Tony for 25 plus years of his contribution to the sales and marketing organization at FCCC. So thank you, Tony. Thank you for building an amazing team that I get to inherit. So appreciate all the hard work. Going back to my experience, my background, as you said, Rick, I come from the parent company, Daimler Truck, which is the largest commercial truck manufacturer in the world. So I started with them almost about 20 years ago. And at that time, I was at grad school, and part of my coursework was doing an internship. And just happens to be the first project that I was working on, and this was in our engine division at that time, was how do we package the engine into the FCCC chassis. So I had this 8-month project where I got to travel the country and figure out what do our customers want in a motor home, how important, power is to them, anything that pertains to the engine. So interesting kind of full circle here 20 years later. But I've held various roles in the sales and marketing organization. They've been on the new truck side, product strategy, segment marketing, district, regional sales, national account sales. And then my most recent role prior to this was Chief of Staff / Operations Manager for our Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales at DTNA. So, excuse me. So I'm very excited and looking forward to it.
You're all choked up. You're so excited. That's great.
Thank you.
So go ahead, Sherm.
Are you out of Gaffney?
Good question. I am in the process from relocating from the West Coast, where Daimler Truck is headquartered, to the East Coast, and plan to be in Gaffney full time. Hopefully, June, early July.
Oh, just in time for all the mosquitoes. Good move.
And Tony, you're where? Gaffney also?
Yeah, I'm based out of the plant here in Gaffney, South
That's what I
Carolina.
thought. Okay, Rick?
Akbar, I was just going to ask, some of your thoughts, some of your goals, short-term, long-term, as you grow into this position, what are you thinking?
Yeah, based on my experiences, Rick, there's three areas that I want to focus on, right? Product, processes, and people. By people, I mean, developing the team, having the right people in the right roles. Tony talked about it a little bit. What does that look like? But going back to product, my group is responsible for not only short-term, but midterm and long-term product strategy as well, right? So when we look at the future, and Tony talked about all the new partnerships and the new opportunities we have with our customers. But if you look at the future, there's a lot of regulatory stuff coming, right? There's this big transition happening from internal combustion to zero emission vehicle, right? So when you look at all the challenges coming to us, and then you look at the marketplace, where I think there were 311,000 retail sales last year, and if you take the towables out and look at the motorized portion of it, it was like 15%.
Right.
Then we play in the Class A subsegment of that, and then we play in the diesel segment of that. So we want to be the premium offering in the highline coach business, right? And we are there. We hold the leadership position. But what does that look 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? The market's going to evolve. So my goal and the team's goal is, are we oriented correctly to be aligned with our customer needs, right? Are we strategically tied into their midterm, short-term goals of what they need? But more importantly, day-to-day tactical stuff. Are we doing the things? Tony's going to work through his organization. We're going to define roles and responsibilities. We want to elevate that experience throughout the process, right? So as a group, are we oriented in the right direction? So products, big piece of it. Same thing with processes, right? How are we managing taking orders? How are we managing deliveries? What's the plant responsible for? I feel a lot more comfortable having Tony with his experience on the other side, that when the product leaves, how do we take care of the customer on the back end? And then the people, right? All 1,100 plus employees of FCCC embrace the customer. You can see the tagline behind me, and we want to deliver memories one ride at a time, right? And the product's the foundation of it. The processes need to be robust for our success, our customer success, and then people make it all happen. So we're really passionate. I'm very passionate, looking forward to it.
Sherman, did you have a question?
I don't want to get way into the market, but we know it's not award-winning, precedent-setting, record-breaking market right now for the US. I'm not talking about FCCC. I'm talking about the market itself. Can you touch on that 30,000-foot question?
Yeah, sure, Sherman. I think there has been some significant changes post-pandemic, right? Material costs have gone skyrocketed, and they're not going to go back down. So the acquisition cost has gone significantly higher, right? Now, the aspiration to own a motorhome, the lifestyle is maybe stronger than ever, right? We have this shift of 2.5, 3 years of people being locked down, confined to their home, discovering the lifestyle, the world going forward. A lot of people are working from home. So maybe that's changing the demographics. I mentioned earlier in one of our conversations, overland market maybe is expanding. So we're looking at our product portfolio, keeping that in mind. But then I was just, listening to the news earlier this week. The inflation reports weren't good. So again, they rose year over year. So what are the Feds going to do? Are the interest rates going to keep creeping, right? There's a buildup of inventory from the pandemic days. So my crystal ball does not have a good answer of what's happening. What is true foundationally, that the customer base exists, right? Now it might shift between the class of motorhomes to towables, but that, aspiration of the lifestyle's there. And with the demographics shifting down a little bit, those people will move up in the classes. So we are very confident in, hoping that we've somewhat hit the bottom, maybe by Q3, and then we're going to come out of this. The inventory is going to get sold out. We have multiple new partnerships Tony alluded to with Integra, Tiffin, Newmar. So we are growing our presence within their different models. So we're very hopeful of even, further increasing our share and growing our business.
Did you mention overlanding?
I touched on it because that's the big
Hot ticket.
word.
Yeah.
Word right now. And when you look at the overland stuff right now, it's like class 3, 4, and how does that translate into class 5 or higher? I mean, our customers are asking us that question as well. Like, how much off-road do you go on a bigger, a bigger vehicle? But we're doing the work. We're investigating. We're investing. So if the opportunity makes sense and that's the direction the market's going, then we obviously want to have a share of that.
Very interesting.
Tony, go ahead.
Can I only to add on a very small point to what Akbar was saying is, not to sound too cliche, but one of the cultures here at FCCC is control the controllables. We can't control the interest rates. We can't control the dealer inventory. We can try to control our material costs, but that's another impetus as to moving. We can control ourselves. We can control that customer experience. So at least if the market is flat or down some percentage points, the customers that do enter or trade up or trade in or buy new or whatever it is, I'm very much excited about the opportunity to win their loyalty, their advocacy, things of that nature.
Very good. Very good.
Rick, what do you think? Well, should we leave them alone? Did we pick their brains enough?
Let them off the hook here on this Friday
yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
There's not much brain to pick on my side.
You took the words out of my mouth. What? Rick, you ready?
Yep. Gentlemen, want to thank you very much for your time. And of course, we want to continue to thank RXL for their support. Hey, until next time, guys, we will see you around, I'm sure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the opportunity.